Hey guys, welcome back to another Chief Pep video. Today we're going to install the clutch and we're going to spray paint the last parts. So welcome back to another video. I haven't done a lot this week because I was really busy. But still, I continued my work because I just promised to myself and to my viewers that I will make an update video every week. So also this week I did some stuff. Let's have a look at the video first. I already told many times that my hoist really paid itself back. Here I needed to put the engine on the workbench. Now, since I needed to lock certain bolts like the alternator bolt on a high torque, I needed to wrap the engine tight to the wooden engine frame with straps. I looked up the torque for the alternator bolt. To make sure you can give the amount of torque the gears need to be locked. I do so by putting an extension of my ratchet wrench through the piston rod. Under the extension, I put two wooden blocks to block it. Make sure, in any case, your camshaft chain is free and doesn't get clamped somewhere. With a torque specification of 155 Newton meters, you really need to use a lot of power. Next time, I think I will lock the wooden engine frame to the workbench with some screw clamps to keep everything more in place. Now it was time for the right hand side. This is the clutch side. This gear has 6 springs where the other gear sits in. As you can see, I first had the engine up, and that doesn't work if you need to position the other gear within these 6 springs. So I laid the engine on its side, which makes the work a lot easier. I oiled the springs so they have their oil already and will work smooth. I needed to strap the engine again because this 36mm nut also needs loads of tightening torque. This is not your average size nut, so I'm glad I once bought this 36mm socket. Again, I needed to block the gears to tighten the nut to its specifications. You need to secure the nut with this securing washer. Now for the clutch. First I cleaned the inside of the clutch housing so the discs run freely up and down in there. I oiled all the grooves for the same reason. I cleaned every clutch plate and put a new engine oil layer before I put it back. The clutch bus nut needs to be torqued at 70 Newton meters. Oh yeah, I need to block the clutch in some way. I inserted a few drivers to lock the housing. Always be careful with this because the clutch housing is made out of pretty weak aluminium. After I tightened the whole thing, I checked and made sure everything is okay. Then I secured the nut with the washer, which I can fold. Now with the pressure plate, it's important you tighten the screws crosswise. Then tighten them at the specified torque of 8 Newton meters. Then it was time for the last gear, the camshaft chain gear. This gear has springs inside, so you need to align it to put it in place. Also, it's really important you align it with the gear it sits in. Notice the marks on both gears. Sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to get everything in place without a helping hand. Then I set up the engine to be ready for the next step, the rear cylinder. This is the first cylinder of the two you need to install. So as you can see, the engine is now ready to install the cylinders. I'm really happy with the result of the spray paint. There's nearly a difference for the original parts and the sprayed parts. So I think this will look great. I finally found the right color to spray paint the starter engine matching colors with the rest of the engine. I used the previous wrong color as a base coat. Halfway I tested the color if it would already match, and decided around 3 layers of paint the parts would be perfectly matching. The result is really satisfying. It was kind of a concern to me before that the starter engine was black and I couldn't wet blast so that it wouldn't match. Now I think nobody will notice that it has been painted. Now when the paint is dry, I can also install the starter engine and I can close up the engine. So thank you for watching for this really brief update, and I'll see you in the next video.